Well guys, good afternoon. Welcome from Africa. As we explained to you guys on the introduction, through the Eyes of Hunting Worldwide magazine, when you guys hunt in Africa, certainly one of the things that you will definitely get to know is our local biltong and also our drive horse and chili bites. We decided to share the process about how we make our traditional biltong and chili bites with you guys. So if you follow me, I'm going to introduce you guys and show you step by step how we make this and what we use. Well guys, we're going to take you through the process now of our local biltong. I took the liberty, we shot the eland last week. It was hanging in the cooler for a couple of days to mature, and I took out the silver side and top side from the eland, from the hind leg. You guys can cut this as thick as you like. I like nice and thick pieces, but as you guys can see, on some places we still have some of the sinew on there. So before we make the biltong, I automatically like to remove these pieces of the sinew as well. But guys, that's now a piece that I'm quite happy with. We've removed all the sinews, and as you will see, the grain of the meat is also running in one direction. We seldom, when we make the big cuts, cut against it, but when we make the pieces of biltong, depends on how big you want them. I like them as thick as this, but a piece like this I will then cut in half. You can hang a piece like that, or you can take that piece and also cut it in half. And there we got two beautiful pieces of biltong. We're going to put that one side, and I'll take you guys through the marinating process of what we do with them. Alright guys, we're going to go over to the next step. We've prepared our pieces of meat now. One of my favorites to use in South Africa. We've got quite a big variety, but over here is Crown National. It's also the chili bite seasoning, and another pack as well, the Safari Legendary seasoning that they have. These are all what we call handy packs. Got a resealable unit on top, and it's very nice if you're making small batches that you can reseal your bag, put it back in the cupboard instead of opening one of your big boxes or bags that we have. What we've done, we've cleaned the bowl nicely, and what I like to do is, and this is once again my personal option or choice, I just like to sprinkle some of the seasoning at the bottom of my bowl like that. And what I'll then do is I'll take my cutlets of meat and press it down onto the spices that is in the bin, so that the bottom can soak up some of those spices. And you will continue with this. I'll move these pieces of meat to one side and sprinkle the other side a bit. Guys, and once again, this is a personal thing that I like to do when it gets to my biltong. This one bottle over here, I've got a normal white vinegar. In the other bottle, I've got some Worcester sauce. The Worcester sauce and the vinegar just adds a little bit of the flavor more. So what I'll do is, with my squeegee bottle, on top of that meat, I'll just drizzle a bit of that vinegar onto every piece of meat. Put that aside, and then just a little bit of Worcester sauce, tiny little bit on each and every piece. Then I just rub in the vinegar and the Worcester sauce a little bit, make sure that we cover all the pieces, and then I'll take some more spices, and these spices I'll then sprinkle on top of that meat. The amount of spices depends on each and every person according to their likings, but once again, you need to play around with the amount of spices that you put on till you find the correct measurement or amount of spices that you want on your meat. I'll just press it down a little bit to make sure that it sticks to the meat, and this I'll then put in the fridge for the evening, and tomorrow, after it's soaked up all the wonderful flavors, we'll hang it in our biltong box, or our dehydrator as we would call it as well. I'll show you guys just now how we hang it in our dryers, and the next process from here. This batch over here, they've been marinating overnight now. We took them out, and as you guys can see, all of those wonderful spices and flavors have drawn into the meat. What we have over here is a humidifying box, or a biltong box that we have. It's made very simple. It's got nice little brackets. We also have these plastic hooks over here. We just hook it in there, and then from here we transfer it into our box over here. Now your big secret, when it gets to this box over here, you must make sure that your pieces of meat do not touch each other. So with it, it's not a big box, so we make tiny batches at a stage, and just make sure they don't touch each other. But you can hang about 8 or 10 pieces right next to each other, and once you've hanged a couple in there, close your lid, plug it in for your electricity, and then it's got a fan sucking in air from the top and blowing it over your meat, coming out on the sides. You can hang this for about 5 or 6 days. I do not like mine to be very dry, so I take it off at about 4 days. Just make sure that you do this indoors, inside your house, not in the garage somewhere where there's a lot of humidity. If there's too much humidity, you will get a mold on there, and that's not what you want. So make sure you do it on the inside. A couple of days later, we'll have our wonderful biltong.